push it good. That's right. We pushing into episode 8. I'm so excited. Y'all have to forgive me. Y'all gotta forgive me for being excited. Y'all don't know what I did to get here. Y'all don't understand, okay? Because I was scared to do this, y'all, okay? I was scared to do this, but I did it scared, and now look at me on episode 8. And I love it, and so do you. And that's why you are here for yet another episode of the Pretty Nerd Time Machine. Thank you guys for pulling up and hopping in with me. It is I, your host, here to do the absolute freaking most, Bianca B. Givner, aka the Nostalgia Queen, also known as Snow Black, and that's spelled with 2 C's because I'm cute, but I will cut you. AKA Stephen Bay Smith, here to debate all things Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network, throwback, 90s, anime, you name it. We're going to talk about it here in the Pretty Nerd Time Machine. You guys already know what happens next, because it is time again for yet another very embarrassing status. I bring you heat from the year of our Lord 2009, because a sister was going through it. Y'all, look, I said Bianca is turning her frown upside down because I'm finally letting go it all turned around, and now I'm rocking the crown. Guess the prom king didn't know. Is that right? First of all, if you're watching this, you see the way it's spelled, so you already know, like, I was going through it. Girl, listen, so now I'm realizing, like, at this time, I was in the middle of going through a very, very public, very, very bad breakup, okay? Mind you, we had broken up probably a couple months before, but it was still going on all the time. Like, from, like, April to, like, July, August, it was just, throw me away. Oh my goodness. As always, if you knew me in 2009, I'm so sorry. My goodness. Anyway, you guys, we got a real cool episode today. We are hopping into Way Back Wednesday. That's right, y'all. I want to talk about some of the cartoons and TV shows that are constantly in my head that I know you guys have either forgotten about or haven't thought about them in literally years.
It's been 84 years.
And if you did think about them within the last 7 years, it's probably because you saw something that reminded you of that show, or something was on Facebook, Twitter, and it was like, oh, I remember that, and that's it. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into my cranium, to my head. And I want you guys to understand that these are in my head all the time. Like, this is stuff I think about. I think about the theme songs, the characters. I think about this stuff all the time. So I'm going to give you a little dose of me. All right. So I'm going to give you about 5 or 6. I don't know how many's on my list. Just a scoop of some of the good ones that I thought of. And I want to run them by you all today. So let's hop into it. Ooh, why did I kiss this mic like that? Kiss it better, baby. Oh, you guys. All right, let's get into it. The first one on my list I'm going to talk about is Lamb Chops Play Along. Y'all, I know you remember it because it was so cool. So this was a wonderful puppeteer. Okay, her name was Sherry Lewis, and she was the puppeteer for Lamb Chops, Hush Puppy, and Charlie Horse. She did all 3 of them. And all 3 of them had different personalities, different this, that, and the third. So she had a whole show that they would sing and they would dance and they would do activities. They would do funny skits. They would do all types of arts and crafts and make things and cook things. And Lamb Chops was just a show. Basically, it was like, if you can imagine Sesame Street, but it was like, I don't know, downsized into just a handful of goodness. That's basically what it was, with just one person on there who was doing 90% of the work, and she made it shake. I loved it. And it gave us one of the most amazing, annoying songs ever in the history of songs.
This is the song that doesn't end.
You know what that is. This is the song that... Listen, I'm not even going to go there. Okay, you know, it's a song that literally, quote unquote, does not end, because once you start singing it, you can't stop singing it because there's no end to said song. Look it up yourselves. I've given you a snippet. Look it up and enjoy it. I just remember sitting there watching that. And if I'm not mistaken, there was another show that she used to do that was, it was like before Lamb Chop's Play Along came out. And it was something like before that, where she did like a smaller version of that show. And it was just as cute. So check it out if you haven't. And you're welcome, because I helped you remember it just now. Yeah, forgot all about it. Y'all are freaking welcome. Moving right along. Y'all, I want to talk about another prominent, really, really good. I know you ain't thought about this in years. Do y'all remember the big comfy couch? The big comfy couch. Because I'm telling you right now, I thought that when I became an adult, okay, that I was going to still be able to do that little clock thing. And you know that little clock thing I'm talking about, with the yeah. And this was a show about a clown named Lunette, and she had a doll named Molly, and they would go on all these adventures and all this type of cool stuff. She had a friend, another clown, his name was like Major Bedhead, and it's funny because now as an adult, I'm like, oh, Major Bedhead, like, because his hair was like all over the place. I think he a mailman or something like that? I can't remember. And she would go visit her grandma and all this really cool stuff. But Lunette would take us on all these adventures, and she would be like, all right, it's time to stretch. And there was this big clock, y'all know what I'm talking about, and she would get down there and flip her little legs and do her legs all around the clock like it wasn't nothing. Now, I used to could do it when I was little, but the way Auntie Mac and legs is set up right now, I'm gonna have to yelp for help and call the Paw Patrol to come scoop me up off this floor. Paw Patrol will be there on the double. Because there's no way I'm gonna be able to bend a twist like that today. Also, do y'all remember on that show there were these little dust bunnies, and it was like a segment where we would go underneath the couch that she would sleep on or be on or play on or whatever, and there was these, and they would make like little noises like that. I don't. My dust bunny impression is real trash. Is that what they sounded like? I think they did. I can't remember, but. She would go do all these little cool stuff, and it was a cute little show. And then the real good part about this was throughout the whole show, she's making a mess of her room. Like she's taking out stuff, taking out toys, blankies, leaving it. And then at the end of the episode, she'd be like, oh, I'm tired. And she would look around and be like, hey, who made this mess? And the camera would zoom in and be like, you. And it's me? And the camera would shake up in the show. I did, didn't I? Well, I guess it's time for the 10-second tidy, or 10-minute, 2-minute. I can't remember. Whatever. It was a really short amount of time, and he's supposed to be tidying up. And she would whip together and clean this entire room spotless and put her toys away. Because she would always tell you, like, when you're done playing, put your stuff away. And that helped me a lot as a kid, because I'm like, Lunette said you gotta clean it up. So, really, really cute show. I know y'all forgot about it. You're welcome. For me helping you remember it. Moving right along down my list. Let me see what I got. Oh, I got a banger. Yeah. Now, Disney has always been very, very good about making incredible movies, incredible soundtracks, all this type of stuff. Sometimes said movie and said characters were so loved and was so good that they would make spin-offs in animated series of these things. Let me tell you something. I don't know who I need to get on the phone with, who I got to call to get Aladdin, the animated series, back on the, Why is this not on Disney Plus? Because animated series Aladdin, chef's kiss. Any Aladdin is chef's kiss, by the way. Except for Return of Jafar, it's so bad that it's good, and it's only good to you if you had it on VHS and watched it a million times. But not Return of Jafar, but yeah, Return of Jafar is the butt one. The third one was the King of Thieves. Aladdin and the King of Thieves is actually very good and very funny because Robin Williams is a genie again in that one, and we get to meet his fine ass daddy. Listen, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. That would be another episode of Pretty Nerd Time Machine. We'll be talking Disney daddies. In the meantime, Aladdin animated series was so dope because there were all types of villains, and oh my goodness, you thought Jafar was bad. Like, you got to meet little cornballs like Abed Small, and he was saving all types of any and everybody. I mean, Aladdin was having to go. There was one where he got like turned into a shark or something like that. Like, it was it was a lot, but it was also really, really dope to see our hero in, just on TV, just not with the regular movie, because we had already seen the regular movie like 15 gazillion times. The animated series was lit, and I need them to put it on Disney Plus because they're playing around. They got everything under the sun but Aladdin, and I don't like that.
I don't like that.
So they need to get that together. I'm gonna have to write them. But that's also a really, really good one I know you forgot about. Let's keep going. All right. Now this one, I know for a fact, if you're listening right now, you haven't thought about this show and you probably forgot about it. Do you all remember Tasmania? Tasmania was way back when. So some of y'all that are listening, if you're younger, you probably don't even know who Taz is, okay? Let me break it down. Taz was a Tasmanian devil who was obviously from Australia, and in all the cartoons, like, he would be like the opposite of like Bugs Bunny. Like, he would be like the enemy or whatever, or the antagonist, whatever the case. And he would tear up stuff, just go in a little circle and, tear up whatever it is. And that was just his MO. He didn't talk. He would drool and spit. Blah, 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 blah. It was really, that was just his thing. They took him and made a whole show about his family, where he comes from, all these other little adventures. And the theme song, out of this world. Come on, Tasmania. What do you mean you? I used to watch that every day, and I don't even remember what it was all about, but I just remember like his whole family being on there and him having, and it was on for a long time. Like, it wasn't just 2 episodes of this. Like, I think this had like a couple of seasons of it for real. And he used to come on this little random, I don't even remember what channel he used to come on, but it had all the best random little cartoons that wasn't nobody thinking about. I think was it WB? It might have been WB. I don't know. This was years ago, mind you. This is literally like 95. Like, okay, so he had his own show, which reminded me, you guys, of my next pick. Lean in. When the last time you thought about Tiny Toon Adventures? When the last time you thought about that? Let me tell you something. Tiny Toon Adventures, okay, was really, really cool because it was a spin-off of the Looney Tunes. So Tiny Toon Adventures, it was basically like, hey, all the Looney Tunes that came before us, they're all professors now, right? They're all teachers at Acme University, Acme University, and they teach the new kids coming up how to Looney Tune, okay? So they have, you got Bugs Bunny, who's their main professor, and then you got so Buster was like the boy, and then Babs was like the girl bunny, and they would go on all these little funny little cartoon adventures. So it was Babs and Buster Bunny. The theme song was like Montana and Max got money, Elmira is a paint. So there's a whole bunch of other new characters, but it's basically a lot of smaller versions of like the regular characters. And they're basically teaching them how to act a fool and how to be cool and be funny and this, that, or the third. And they went on their own little adventures. Really, really a bop. Really, really a bop. And I think they came out with a couple movies too. It was so good, in fact, and so popular. They even came out with games for Tiny Toon Adventures. If you was anybody, do you remember these little games? These little handheld. It didn't sound like that, but it would be like Tiger, and they would be these little handheld games. And they had a Tiny Toon Adventure one, a Latin one, and they put 2 batteries in the back, and it would last probably like half a day, maybe a couple of days if you was lucky. And it would be like 2 buttons on one side, 1 button on the other. One was jump, one was run, and one was down. And they had a Tiny Toon Adventure version of that. Really, really good show. One of my faves coming up for sure. Let's keep going. Now, I'm finna dig real deep into the bag. I'm gonna dig deep into the bag. I know y'all don't remember Mighty Max.
Damn!
I know. What? If you remember Mighty Max, I want you to make some noise wherever you at, because that means you're goated. Let me tell you something. So Mighty Max, if I remember, it was it went hand in hand with the people who created Polly Pocket. So Polly Pocket was already a thing. They created Mighty Max for the boys. For those of you who don't know what Polly Pocket is, Polly Pocket was basically a Barbie doll that was about as big as your thumb, and she could fit in your pocket. And they would be these little heart-shaped, shell-shaped, circle-shaped, square-shaped thing. And you would open it up, and it was her whole house inside this Polly Pocket thing. Polly Pocket was that. So they took that and made Mighty Max toys and stuff like that. And it was actually a British toy. And then it was so popular that they made a TV show about Mighty Max. So he was like this random kid, and I can't remember how he ended up going on this adventure. I want to say that he found like this, I don't know, this thing, and it teleported him. Oh, that's right. He found this doggone oh my goodness, was it like a fowl, I think it was called, and he broke it, and in an instant it was just basically saying like, hey, you've been chosen, put this hat on, and he would throw that hat on, and it would teleport him. Oh, I'm remembering, you guys, that it would teleport him back and forth, okay, through time and space. And he had Norman and Virgil, I think was the whatever, and they would go on. Norman was like this Viking, Virgil was like this owl, and they would go and they're trying to stop the Skullmaster from taking back this. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about a bop? Mighty Max was very, very good. It was adventurous, and it was like, I think they ended up cutting it short eventually because they were saying some of the like the depictions and stuff were like a little scary. They were like, this is too violent, which is crazy because then years later they put on stuff like Celebrity Deathmatch, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear nothing about violence. Like, hang it up. And that brings me to my last one on my list that I thought of. Okay, Mighty Max, if I'm not mistaken, came on the same channel as Mummies Alive. Mummies Alive, if I'm not mistaken, this kid was like the reincarnated version of an Egyptian prince that was murdered by like a jealous like person who was in the palace or whatever. And so as punishment, so okay, I gotta go back. Years ago, somebody murdered the Egyptian prince, okay? And because of this, he was I think they like buried him in a way where it was just like they mummified him alive or something like that. I don't know. And he got like this really bad death sentence for that, obviously. But years later, the reincarnation of that prince was like obviously in modern day or whatever. And the bad guy got to come back and take the reincarnation so that way he could come back and rule the world, whatever. I can't remember. Then there was like 4 mummies that came alive and was helping him out. It sounds goofy, but like, the show was lit. Like it was kind of like Gargoyles in a way, which is so good. Gargoyles, stop playing. That's on Disney Plus right now. Get your butt over there and watch it. It don't even need no introduction. You're welcome. So it was kind of like that. It was like dark and grungy in that way, but so full of adventure and all types of cool stuff. Lit. And these, I don't even think you have to have cable to have them ones. If I'm not, you might have. Well, yeah. Because that was on like ABC or something like that. Mind you, again, this is like 94, 95, whatever. So that's what stuff was lit. I am so happy you guys pulled up today. Let me know, what cartoons do you think you remember that I probably wouldn't? Or is there a cartoon that you think you remember or you know about that you don't think anybody else remembers or thinks about? Another like random example, there was this little thing on Sesame Street where I think his name was the teeny weeny little guy. I'm just a teeny little super guy. And he would like, I'm teeny weeny little super guy, something like that. And he would come and he would slither across like the salt and pepper shakers, because he was a 2D character in a 3D world, and it was so cute. He would go on these little adventures, super fun, like stuff like that. I think about that all the time. Let me know in the comments, what was some of your favorite throwback TV shows that nobody else is thinking about or might have forgotten? What's some of your favorite characters, etc.? I want to hear about it. Y'all tell me about it in the comments. Thank y'all so much for pulling up to another episode, a short but sweet episode of the Pretty Nerd Time Machine. As always, I tell you, you can pull up at any time. If you want to debate the queen, get on here, run, don't walk, over to prettynerdtimemachine.com, slide over to that contact section and hit me up. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. And we'll set that thing up, babe. We can debate on here. Make a do. Bring your unpopular opinions. Bring your very harsh words about these shows and TV things and whatever else, and toys and games and everything else. Bring it, and we're going to discuss it here on the Pretty Nerd Time Machine. Like I always tell you, in the meantime, in between time, you stay lit, you stay cool, and you stay nostalgic. Yes, squares. Check it. What is this? What is? I was trying to do 2 peace signs, but I put up a 2 and a 1.
Stay off the weed.
Stay nostalgic, you squares. Get out of here. Bye.